Hello, my name is Amina. This is Freestyle Conversation, but today I'm here to talk about real estate. I'm here to inspire, to enlighten, and to share ideas, okay, with you, my dear friends. It's been a while since I've had this video come up, but today I'm happy to finally bring it up. And so it might not be perfect, but I don't want to wait on perfection. I just want to be able to share ideas with you. So today I was just coming from a program organized for realtors as for my association, which is PSAR, and it's Association for Realtors. But the discussion was mainly on home ownership in Chula Vista, California. Long story short, let me just put that one aside, and now let's talk about homes. So I'm just going to dwell on areas that I have knowledge of, okay? And this has to do with California real estate in terms of home ownership, and then also making comparison to Ghana and Nigeria and some other parts of Africa or West Africa specifically. Okay, so back home we are accustomed to the system of buying the land or acquiring a land. It could be bought or inherited, however it may be, but you get the land and then you start building, and usually you build out of your savings or through planning, so it takes years before you complete it. And sometimes people do move into the home before they, to live in one part of it as they complete the rest of it. Okay, so we do have that system, which is a good system, because when somebody says I own a house, it's fully paid for, everything is paid for, they own it. Okay, but you have to acquire the money over a period of time to be able to own the home. And then when you come over here in the US, people who do have the money can go through the same routine or probably just outrightly buy the home with the monies that they have. But we do understand also that people do not have money sitting down or have saved that much. So then the bank steps in and says that, you know what, you want to buy a home, you don't have the money for it, we would fund you, and then we would have will be the owners of the home, but everything you pay will be put into your account. So eventually the typical tenor for the loan is usually 30 years. So in 30 years you'll be paying mortgage, so you'll be paying these mortgage or the payment for the home, which goes to the bank, but the bank has bought the home in your name. Okay, but you make payments to them because you took the money from the bank. So that's how the process goes. Okay, I like to jot things down because I like to talk as well, and I may gear off, so I just want to keep myself in check. So in terms of inspiring you to buy a home, I think owning a home has so many benefits to you. First of all, sometimes as an immigrant, or if you move to the US, we tend to think that, oh, I'm not going to stay here for long, I'm not going to live here for long, so we tend to invest back home. So we are building the houses there, and we're saying that we would eventually go back home, but we spend most of our years here in the US, and by the time you get home, it's either you don't fit in or something, or for some reason you come back to the US, but then you never bought a house in the US. Okay, and you can look at the number of years you might have spent in the US. We could have, sometimes goes beyond 30 years, and this 30 years you could have owned a home, you would have finished buying it off, okay, or paying it off actually. So these are some of the things that tend to be like a setback, so we don't put it at the back of our mind, or we don't even make it as part of our plans to actually buy a home. I'm glad that the trend is changing, however it's still there. Okay, but I want to use this opportunity to let you know that when you buy a home here, you solidify your stay here as well, and also it gives a sense of the pride of ownership. Okay, and not only does it do that, if you have children, your children now grow up looking at their parents who purchased the home, so already you're setting a good example for them as they they go through their life. So some of us, we have our kids here, even though we grew we were born and bred back home, and we are living here, you tend to raise a family here, so the children are not so conversant with what goes on back home, and they might not even fit in, but this is where they live, this is where they are, so they are citizens of this place. Okay, so we want to set a good example for them, to let them know that they need to be responsible, and they need to forecast, kind of look to making their stay here, more solidified. So, and ways of doing that is like buying a home, like, saving, like living like you live here. Okay, all right. So so home ownership has so many benefits, apart from the investment aspect of it, where instead of, if you live in a rental home, the money that you pay to the renter is never yours, it never goes into your account. If you live in that home for 100 years, it's still never yours. But if you say that, you know what, I do not have the money for it, but I want to be able to be paying for it little by little, it is expensive. It is expensive to own than to rent, because most of the expenses or costs you can easily give to the renter. Oh, this broke down, and they are obliged to fix it, but they will fix it because it is not yours, it is theirs. Okay, but when you're living in yours, it becomes your responsibility. And so those are some of the things that add up to your mortgage expense or the cost. Nonetheless, you will be saving whatever you're doing, whatever payment you're making, you'll be saving it towards yourself. And when it's time for you to sell, or you don't want to sell, it's still yours anyways, it goes into your account. Okay, and the other thing is that might be different from getting homes back home, or like from Ghana or Nigeria or other parts of Africa, is that you here, whether you pay the home off or you had money to pay it off completely, you will still have to pay certain things. They are out, like they are recurring costs, they are there. So like property taxes, like Melrose, special assessments, HOA is like home owners association, and these are all monies that are used to maintain the grounds, pay for minor stuffs. So even though you might pay off the loan and pay everything off, these are things that you will still be paying for, unlike in some parts of Africa, like in Ghana or in Nigeria. When you buy the house, you buy the land, you build a house, you don't have issue with property taxes, you don't have issue with HOA, you don't have issues with those things unless it's discussed in that community. But you do not have those things as outstanding bills that you have to be paying on monthly basis. Okay, so these are some of the things that come up. And the other thing is, we have I know the kind of homes that we own, like in Ghana, okay, or in Nigeria. Big mansions, big homes, plenty bedrooms. We have all these, and they like, we make accommodations in terms of, we will have families come by, and typically you will have like relatives living with you in the home and all those things. So we tend to have more rooms, and our rooms are bigger, they are all those things. So we tend to come to the US with the same mindset that we might get visitors. We want to make our home a place where our grandchildren will come and visit, our great grandchildren. We would have communion, we have fellowship with family, friends, and loved ones, because that is how we live back home. But when you get here, you soon find out that that is not the situation. It can take a whole year and you've not even received one visitor. Okay, and even if they come, it's within like for a very short time. Nobody has time for, and your children, as they are growing, they are leaving the home, you rarely see them, and they want to also build up on this independency where they also want their own home, they want their own place, they are living their lives. You rarely see each other, and even when you do have a get together, it is periodically, once in a while. It's not like a weekend thing, a continuous weekend thing or something, So when we want to buy the house, we are looking with that picture, and so we are looking for a single family home, things that look like the kind of homes we have back home, okay, or we have back in Africa, or even other parts of the country, or other parts of the the world. So first of all, we hate the ideas of condos, we hate the ideas of townhouses, we hate the ideas of, you know, any other kind of settlement that looks like, you know, like you're still renting, you know. But the thing is, when you get here, you have to understand the system. What they do is, as your family increases, you get a home as a couple, you know, so you typically would get like 2 bedrooms, or maybe 1 if you want to go wild, but you know, it's 2 bedrooms. And then you look at, okay, so you will have children, and then as they are growing, you know, as you have the children and the number is increasing, you leave that home, you get another one that is bigger. And so you live in the homes according to your family structure. Okay, so as it's growing, you grow with the house. As it's decreasing, you are decreasing with the house. So we have upsizing and we have downsizing, just to accommodate the structure of the family. Okay, so at the present moment. So these are some of the things. That is how the system works here. So you don't necessarily have to get a big home waiting to raise a big family, or you don't have those kind of plans ahead. Because when we do that, what happens is, first of all, we don't have the money to afford the kind of homes, the single family homes that look like the type of homes that we have back home, because it's expensive. Okay, and it comes with all these bills and all these costs, okay, which you are not currently in the position to afford. Okay, so when we come, we should be okay getting the condos. Get a condo. As you increasing in size, after 2 years, sell it off, buy a bigger one. You know, you would have built equity from the payments that you have made over the 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, you know, and then you use that money as down payment for the next big home, so that when you are paying for your mortgage, it's the same as the mortgage you paid for the previous home, which was smaller, but this one, the house is bigger. Okay, so it goes on like that, and that's how you build your life with it. And you don't necessarily have to, it's a personal choice anyways, but you don't necessarily have to see the home as a forever home, because I mean, your taste changes, you just want to do different things with the home. You have the opportunity to do that here. Okay, so this video is actually to motivate you to change a mindset that we've had over a period of time. It tends to delay the times we buy the house, because and then at that time it's expensive. So some people would say that, oh, if I knew about this, I would have bought it when I first came in, you know. And you don't even have to be, I stand corrected, but you don't even have to be a citizen to buy a home here in the US, or specifically in California. Okay, so just look out for the requirement. If you have any questions, like, it's prudent to make your inquiries rather than live with assumptions. Make the inquiries, and whenever you even want to talk to a lender and all those things, it's not a commitment, it's just inquiries. You can just make your inquiries and get yourself prepared over a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or whenever. But all I'm saying is, I'm here to inspire you. I am a realtor, not because people would say realtors have money, they have money, but mine, it's a desire to be a blessing to families. It's a desire to be able to assist people find a place of shelter, find a shelter where they can say that this is mine. That is the reason why I am a realtor. I love to add value to people's life. I love to be able to contribute meaningfully into people's lives. And I specifically love real estate because I love everything about real estate. I love the human aspect of it, because this is a huge investment that people are making, you know, so they are letting you into their lives. That I value so much. Again, I also appreciate, you know, I love to see how people turn homes from, you know, a certain, not a so good situation, fix it up, and it turns into something beautiful. I love that process. Everybody wants to see transformation, you know, transformation for good, you know. So I love that process. I love decor. I love architecture. I love so many things about real estate. I chose to be a realtor because I wanted to follow my dreams, and when I found it, I said this is it, and I really want to do it. So it's I love money. I do love money, but more importantly, I love to leave good memories with people and to be of value to people. So with that said, my name is Amina Abdullahi. I'm a realtor with Century 21 affiliated, East Lake Chula Vista. My number is 347-912-9844. I would love to assist you in getting prepared, knowing about the market, knowing about your moves and what your chances are. And if you have any questions, feel free, shoot me a text. I will make time to explain things to you. And this is not just limited to Africans, because my service is to everyone, because I love everyone. I'm a people's person and I love to help people regardless of backgrounds and different walks of life. Okay, so contact me if you have any questions. You can leave them in the comment sections, or you can actually contact me on my phone, send me a text, I would answer. And it doesn't matter if you're not in California. If you need answers even for other places, I can answer the general questions and also make references to where you can find information. And if you do have referrals, I would love to help them here. And if you yourself is looking to buy a home for yourself and for your family, I'll be more than happy to assist. Thank you so much, and do have a lovely day. All right, bye.